Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's special episode. I'm Sarah, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here with me. Whether you're listening during your morning commute, taking a break from work, or winding down in the evening, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're doing something a little bit different, something really exciting. We're going to test your English level in just 20 minutes. Yes, you heard that right, 20 minutes. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Sarah, how can I possibly know my English level in such a short time? Well, here's the thing. This isn't about perfection. This isn't about getting every single answer right. This is about understanding where you are right now on your English learning journey. And trust me, wherever you are, that's perfectly okay. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint, and every step forward is something to celebrate. So, grab a pen and paper if you can. You'll want to keep track of your answers, and I'll be giving you plenty of time to think through each question. If you're driving or can't write things down, don't worry. Just listen along and answer mentally. The most important thing is that you're here, you're engaged, and you're ready to learn something about yourself today. Before we dive in, let me explain how this is going to work. I've prepared a series of questions and exercises that will test different aspects of your English. We'll be looking at vocabulary, grammar, listening comprehension, and even some practical, real-world English usage. The questions start easier and gradually get more challenging, so you'll naturally find your level as we go along. Ready? Let's begin. Section 1, Beginner Level. All right, let's start with some foundational questions. These first few are designed for beginners, but everyone should work through them because, hey, it's always good to build confidence from the ground up, right? Question 1, listen carefully. She, inmash, to school every day. What word goes in the blank? Is it A, go, B goes, C going, or D gone? Take a moment, think about it. The correct answer is B, goes. She goes to school every day. This is present simple tense, and we add an S to the verb when we use he, she, or it. If you got that right, excellent. You're already showing you understand basic verb conjugation. Question 2. Now, let's look at pronouns. Which sentence is correct? A. Me and John went to the store. Or B. John and I went to the store. Think about which one sounds right and follows proper grammar rules. The answer is B. John and I went to the store. In English, when we're the subject of a sentence, we use I, not me. Also, it's polite to mention the other person first. A good trick? Remove the other person from the sentence and see if it still sounds right. You wouldn't say, me went to the store, would you? So, I is correct. Question 3, vocabulary time. What does the word happy mean? A, sad, B, joyful, C, angry, or D, tired? This should be straightforward. The answer is B, joyful. Happy and joyful are synonyms. They mean roughly the same thing. Question 4. Let's try a listening comprehension exercise. I'm going to say a sentence, and I want you to identify the main action. Ready? The cat jumped over the fence and ran into the garden. What did the cat do first? Think about the order of events. The cat jumped. That's what it did first. It jumped over the fence, and then it ran. If you followed that sequence, you're demonstrating good listening skills. If you got all 4 of those questions right, you're definitely at least at a beginner level, and you're probably ready for something a bit more challenging. Don't worry if you missed 1 or 2. Like I said, this is about learning, not perfection. Section 2, Elementary to Pre-Intermediate Level. Now we're stepping it up a notch. These next questions require a bit more knowledge of English grammar and vocabulary. If you're feeling confident so far, that's wonderful. If things are starting to get tricky, that's also wonderful. It means you're discovering where you can focus your learning efforts. Question 5. Which sentence uses the correct preposition? A. I'm interested on learning Spanish. B. I'm interested in learning Spanish. C. I'm interested at learning Spanish. Or D. I'm interested for learning Spanish. Prepositions can be tricky, right? The correct answer is B. I'm interested in learning Spanish. We say interested in, not interested on, or the others. Prepositions often don't follow logical rules. You just have to learn them through practice and exposure. Question 6. Let's talk about the past tense. Which is correct? A. Yesterday I seen a movie, or B. Yesterday I saw a movie. The correct answer is B. Yesterday I saw a movie. Saw is the past tense of see. Seen is the past participle, which we use with helping verbs like have. For example, I have seen that movie before. This is a really common mistake, even for native speakers in casual conversation. But in proper English, saw is what we use for simple past tense. Question 7. Vocabulary challenge. What does exhausted mean? A. Very tired. B. Very excited. C. Very hungry. Or D. Very happy. The answer is A. Very tired. Exhausted is a stronger way of saying tired. If you're exhausted, you're completely worn out, drained of energy. Question 8. Here's a sentence with an error. Can you identify what's wrong? She don't like coffee. What should it be? Think about subject-verb agreement. The correct version is she doesn't like coffee. With he, she, or it, we use doesn't, not don't. We say I don't, you don't, they don't, but he doesn't, she doesn't, it doesn't. How are you doing so far? If you're getting most of these right, you're solidly in the pre-intermediate range, which is fantastic. You've got a good foundation to build on. Section 3, intermediate level. All right, let's move into intermediate territory. This is where things get really interesting because you're not just using basic English anymore. You're starting to express more complex ideas and use more sophisticated language structures. Question 9. Which sentence is grammatically correct? A. If I would have known, I would have come. B. If I had known, I would have come. Or C. If I have known, I would have come. This is a conditional sentence, specifically the third conditional, which talks about hypothetical situations in the past. The correct answer is B. If I had known, I would have come. This structure is if plus past perfect would have plus past participle. It's used to talk about things that didn't happen, but could have happened if circumstances had been different. This is a structure that even advanced learners sometimes struggle with, so if you got this right, give yourself a pat on the back. Question 10. Let's look at phrasal verbs. What does put off mean in this sentence? We had to put off the meeting until next week. A. Cancel. B. Postpone. C. Attend. Or D. Schedule. The answer is B. Postpone. Put off means to delay or postpone something. Phrasal verbs are combinations of verbs and prepositions or adverbs that create a new meaning. They're very common in English and can be challenging because their meanings aren't always obvious from the individual words. Question 11. Here's a vocabulary question. What's the difference between borrow and lend? Think about who's giving and who's receiving. Borrow means to take something temporarily from someone else. Lend means to give something temporarily to someone else. So you might say, "Can I borrow your pen?" And the other person might respond, "Sure, I'll lend it to you." The action is the same, a pen changing hands temporarily, but the perspective is different. Question 12. Let's test your understanding of relative clauses. Which is correct? A. The woman who her husband is a doctor lives next door. Or B. The woman whose husband is a doctor lives next door. The correct answer is B. The woman whose husband is a doctor lives next door. Whose is a possessive relative pronoun. We don't need her because whose already shows possession. This is a common mistake because in some other languages you might repeat the possessive, but not in English. If you're doing well with these intermediate questions, you're at a level where you can handle most everyday conversations and can probably read and understand a good amount of English content, from news articles to novels. Section 4, Upper Intermediate to Advanced Level. Now we're really pushing into advanced territory. These questions are going to test your nuanced understanding of English, the kind of knowledge that takes years of study and practice to develop. Question 13. What's the difference in meaning between these two sentences? I stopped to smoke, and I stopped smoking. Can you explain the difference? This is subtle but important. I stopped to smoke means I paused what I was doing in order to have a cigarette. I stopped smoking means I quit the habit of smoking. The structure is stop plus infinitive, to do something, versus stop plus gerund, doing something. The first means you stopped your activity to do something else. The second means you stopped doing that thing altogether. If you understood that distinction, you're demonstrating advanced grammatical knowledge. Question 14. Which of these sentences demonstrates the correct use of the subjunctive mood? A. I suggest that he goes to the doctor, or B. I suggest that he go to the doctor. The correct answer is B. I suggest that he go to the doctor. In formal English, particularly American English, we use the subjunctive mood after certain verbs like suggest, recommend, insist, and demand. The subjunctive uses the base form of the verb without the S for third-person singular. This is quite formal and is becoming less common in everyday British English, but it's still considered correct, especially in American English. Question 15. Vocabulary at an advanced level. What does ubiquitous mean? A. Rare, B. Present everywhere, C. Expensive, or D. Difficult? The answer is B. Present everywhere. Something that's ubiquitous is found everywhere, so common that you see it constantly. For example, smartphones have become ubiquitous in modern society. This is the kind of word you'd encounter in academic texts or sophisticated writing. Question 16. Let's look at idiomatic expressions. If someone says it's raining cats and dogs, what do they mean? And more importantly, why do we say this? It's raining cats and dogs means it's raining very heavily. As for why we say this, there are several theories, but no one knows for certain. Some think it comes from Old England, when animals would shelter in thatched roofs during storms and sometimes fall through. Others think it's just a colorful exaggeration. The important thing is that idioms like this are expressions where the meaning isn't literal. You can't understand them just by knowing the individual words. Understanding and using idioms is a sign of advanced language proficiency. Question 17. Here's a complex sentence structure. Identify the error, if there is one. Having finished her homework, the TV was turned on by Sarah. What's wrong with this sentence? This is a dangling modifier. The phrase, having finished her homework, is meant to describe Sarah. But the way the sentence is structured, it seems to describe the TV. The correct version would be, having finished her homework, Sarah turned on the TV. Or, after Sarah finished her homework, she turned on the TV. Dangling modifiers are a subtle grammar issue that even native speakers sometimes miss. Question 18. Finally, let's test your understanding of nuance. What's the difference in tone between could you help me and can you help me? Both are grammatically correct, but which is more polite? Could you help me is generally considered more polite than can you help me. Could suggests a hypothetical possibility and sounds more tentative, which makes it sound more polite and less demanding. Can is more direct and asks about ability. In formal or professional situations, could is usually the better choice. This kind of pragmatic knowledge, understanding not just what's correct, but what's appropriate in different social contexts, is the hallmark of advanced language use. Assessment and wrap-up. Wow, we've covered so much ground in these 20 minutes. You should feel really proud of yourself for sticking with this, regardless of how many questions you got right. Now, let's talk about what your performance might tell you about your English level. If you got questions 1 through 4 correct, but started struggling around question 5, you're likely at a beginner to elementary level. That's a great foundation. You understand basic grammar and can handle simple, everyday communication. Your focus should be on building your vocabulary, practicing basic verb tenses, and getting more exposure to English through reading simple texts and listening to basic English content. If you were comfortable through question 8 but found questions 9 onwards challenging, you're probably at a pre-intermediate to intermediate level. You can handle most everyday situations in English, and you're ready to start exploring more complex grammar structures like conditionals and perfect tenses. This is an exciting stage because you can start consuming more authentic English content, TV shows, podcasts, books, and really accelerate your learning. If you got through question 12 with confidence but struggled with the advanced questions at the end, you're at an upper intermediate level. You're a strong English user. Your focus now should be on refinement, learning more sophisticated vocabulary, mastering subtle grammar points, understanding idioms and cultural references, and developing your ability to use English in professional or academic contexts. And if you breezed through all 18 questions, congratulations. You're operating at an advanced level. At this stage, your learning focus should be on maintaining your skills, expanding your vocabulary in specialized areas that interest you, and perhaps working on accent reduction or developing specific skills like business English or academic writing. But here's what I really want you to remember. Your English level isn't fixed. It's not a label that defines you. It's simply a snapshot of where you are right now. And the beautiful thing is that you can always improve. Every single person who's ever become fluent in English started exactly where you are, or even further back. The key to improvement is consistent practice, exposure to the language, and not being afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are how we learn. Every time you get something wrong, your brain is actually creating stronger neural pathways for the correct information. So embrace those mistakes. What should you do next? First, be honest with yourself about your current level. There's no shame in being a beginner. We all start somewhere. Second, set realistic goals. If you're a beginner, don't expect to be watching complex movies without subtitles next month. Instead, aim to learn 10 new words a week or practice basic conversations for 15 minutes a day. Small, consistent efforts add up to massive results over time. Third, immerse yourself in English as much as possible. Change your phone's language to English. Listen to English podcasts while you cook or clean. Read English articles about topics you're interested in. The more you surround yourself with the language, the faster you'll improve. Fourth, practice actively, not just passively. It's great to listen to English content, but you also need to practice speaking and writing. Find a language exchange partner, join an online English community, or simply talk to yourself in English. Yes, talking to yourself works. Describe what you're doing as you do it. It might feel silly, but it's incredibly effective. And finally, be patient with yourself. Language learning is a journey with ups and downs. Some days you'll feel like you're making incredible progress, and other days you'll feel like you've forgotten everything. That's completely normal. What matters is that you keep showing up, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. You're already doing something incredible just by being here, by choosing to learn and improve. Not everyone has the courage to put themselves out there and test their abilities. But you did, and that tells me something important about you. You're someone who's willing to grow, willing to challenge yourself, and willing to work for what you want. Those qualities will take you far, not just in English, but in every area of your life. So, wherever you are on your English journey, whether you're just starting out or you're already advanced, I want you to know that I'm proud of you. Keep going, keep learning, keep growing. You've got this. Thank you so much for spending these 20 minutes with me today. I hope this test has given you some valuable insights into your English level and inspired you to keep moving forward on your learning journey. This podcast has been brought to you by Rochford's English channel, where you learn English fast. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to continue improving your English with engaging, practical content, make sure to check out Rochford's English channel. You'll find lessons, tips, exercises, and so much more to help you reach your English goals faster than you ever thought possible. Until next time, keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and remember, every word you learn, every sentence you speak, every mistake you make is bringing you one step closer to fluency. This is Sarah signing off. Happy learning, everyone.